Welcome back to ModSauce. Alright, when last I was here, I got the fireball spell going with Ars Magica, and I was going to go out and hunt up a bunch of mobs and just work on leveling that thing up. Well, I realized that I didn't have to go hunting for them, because I have a spawner right here. So I put, let's see, there's a chicken safari net in there. I turned it on for a little while and I spawned a whole mess of chickens. And then I went down in here after, you see, before I did that, I set up this cobble down here to keep them from being sent down below into the spikes. And I just sit here and every few seconds blast another chicken. A thoroughly satisfying experience because I despise chickens. And getting a little bit of experience with each one when the mana doesn't run out. And of course I've got this to take care of that. Now, I started out, I was using these lesser mana potions. And that's all fine and dandy, but they don't stack and it eats up your inventory space fast. Then I discovered that if you take 3 of these with string in a crafting grid, you get one of these, which is the same thing, only there's 3 uses per. So I was using a bunch of those. And you can take this a little farther. You know, the sugar, seeds, and awkward potion gets you the lesser mana potion. You take the lesser mana potion, combine it with gunpowder, and you get the standard mana potion. You take the standard mana potions, combine that with string, and you get a bundle of 3 standard mana potions. The one thing about these bundles, though, that I wonder about, is that according to everything I've read and tutorials I've seen that showed it in action, these bundles are, when you use them up, they're supposed to give you back the 3 glass bottles and the string. They do give you back the string, but they don't give you back the glass bottles, and as near as I can tell, the empty mana potion bundles are useless. There is nothing I can think of you can do with them aside from throw them away and let them despawn. You can't refill them with water and just brew a bundle of them at once or anything like that. So if anyone knows what you can do with these besides throw them away, I would be glad to hear it. Meanwhile, I'm not going to be using these anymore once I start making up these guys, because the, well, let's see here. Let's go in here, mana potions. The lesser one produces 100 mana and a slight regen boost. And the standard one gets 250. And then greater is 2,000. And epic is 5,000. And then the legendary is 10,000. And then the infused one here, what this one does is temporarily raises your maximum. Exactly how long is temporary, I don't know. But at some point, there will be legendary mana potions, largely being auto-crafted. I'm doing it manually right now, but I am going to set up auto-crafting for that. Anyway, in the doing of all this, you can see that I've gotten to level 12, and it's the XP required to go to the next level, as you might expect, goes up with each level. And XP for killing individual mobs, at least chickens, cows, or pigs, I can confirm for certain, is anywhere from about 3 to 6 points. And it takes longer and longer to get to the next level each time, but not a problem. In all this, I have gotten, I don't know if you can read that, I can barely read it, 6 new blue points So I'm thinking I want to go ahead and do something with that. I was looking at these things here, and right here, this one is talents, and mana regen 1, which according to the book increases the regen rate. Not by how much it doesn't say, but it does. So I'm going to click that. That cost me a point. Okay. Affinity gains boost. I'm got a basic idea what the affinity thing is, but I'm not sure whether the gain boost is something I want to spend on right this minute or what. So, go back over here. Defense. Okay, let's learn self and regeneration and heal. What's this one? Shrink. Reduce yourself small enough to fit inside a 1-block space, maybe? That could be handy on occasion. And let's see, there's a bunch of other things in here. Slow fall could be useful. Haste, slow, swift, fast swimming, yeah, that'd be great. Okay, so, and over here on attack, offensive, I have to get this one. Lightning damage. I like that idea a lot. And I think that's where I'm going to stop. Still got 1 point and so on. I appear to be gaining a couple of points every 2 levels. So, let's see, I'm going to get out another written book. And let's do something here. Okay. Self. Regeneration. Hello. Alright, heal. Okay, this is strange. That is really odd. Oh, that's right, I remember. Down here. Regeneration, heal. Okay. I'm just going to call it, get the caps lock off. Regen H. Alright. Okay, that, oh, 2x Alm. That one I don't think I have found any of. Let's see. Is there any in the system? There is one. Alright, it looks like I'm going to be taking a multi-thousand block trip out to that area of... I found a witchwood forest, which apparently is a good place to look for that stuff. So I'm going to be heading out there to see if I can find more Alm. And that I expect could take me a while. Let's see, golden apple, blue rune, green rune, spell parchment, 500 neutral essence. Okay. Go ahead and sign it, I guess. Alright. Okay. I am off in hunting Alm. Alright, I gotta tell you. This little adventure picking up that Alm has been an all day and almost of the night adventure. It really has. Because I got over to my witchwood forest over there, which you can see here on the waypoint that it's 6,200 blocks from here, which puts it about 4,600 blocks from spawn. And I got all the way out there, and I went looking through the witchwood forest. I was looking for witchwood trees, because the Alm flower spawns near witchwood trees when the witchwood trees grow. And so I found some witchwood trees. I cut them down, and I looked around, and I found I did manage to find a few Alm, But I ran into a problem because every time I broke one, I got booted from the server, and there was a number of hours passed by, like about 7 or 8 by the time things got fixed around to where I could actually get out of the area. It got to the point very, very quickly where all I had to do was log on while still in that chunk out there, and I would within seconds get booted from the server. And I'm thinking, the server would get all locked up and everything. And I'm thinking there's probably a bugged chunk out there or something. So I won't be going back. I will be looking for my alm flowers somewhere else. In the meanwhile, I did get together all the ingredients for this healing regen spell, or regen healing. I got my blank room, got the 2 alm, Vinium dust, a lesser focus, which is this guy, and it's just some glass with nuggets around it. Got the blue rune, golden apple, the green rune, and the spell parchment. And so, we're ready to get going here. One of the things that the thing required is 500 neutral essence, and it took a little bit of reading to find out how to do that. Turns out what you need for that is this thing, an obelisk. And if I look that up in NEI, why does caps lock always end up on? Here we are. This guy. Chisel, stone, brick, stone, and 4 Vinium dust makes this. And this basically functions kind of like a furnace. Okay, right click. And if I drop some a bucket of liquid Ethereum in there, this thing will burn it up and it will charge with neutral essence. And I can find that out by looking at this item. The Magitech staff, which is some gold nuggets and a blue topaz. And all I got to do is take that, right click on it, and it says right there, detected neutral essence 5,000 units. Okay, great. And then there's this thing, the crystal wrench, and that is some iron, Vinium dust, a desert nova, and a cereal blossom, which I apparently have several of in the system from picking up flowers everywhere all over the place, because there's more flowers in this pack than you know what to do with. And so I went ahead and made this. And this is a tool well, it's called a wrench, but it doesn't quite function like other mod wrenches. It's not used to break the block or move it or anything like that. This thing can be used to connect this up to that to feed power from there to there. And so we will now proceed and make this regen spell. So we need the blank rune that starts the process, and then follow the prompting. So let's I'm going to turn that off. If I'm going to be throwing things down, it makes sense not to have the thing turned on that ticks them back up. Alright, let's throw in the blank rune. Okay, we have our particle effect. Things are in gear. And it wants the alm. Well, I suppose it would help if I threw it in there. Hello, that's what I did. Maybe I have to throw them in one at a time? Yeah. Okay, it wants the Vinium dust next. Okay. Okay, and the lesser focus. And now for the energy. Right click on this. Alright. Right click on that. Right click up there. Pairing successful. Okay. Turn on the switch. Hello. It's got 100 neutral essence. It needs 500. Alright, let's see here. There's 4,400 in there. Alright, now we need the blue rune. And the golden apple. If I can throw it in the right direction. The green rune. And my spell parchment. And bam, here we go. Alright. Costs 270 to use it. Alright, now if I shift right click with that book, I can take this, pop it in here. Now this is kind of a hot bar. You can use the shift scroll wheel to toggle through it, to scroll through it. And this here is storage for more things. Now it's up there in the upper left. I can go shift and my scroll wheel to go back and forth between them. And let's see. Alright, let's go up a ways. And of course, it's not doing me any good because there's nothing giving me any damage right now. But there you go. Anyway, all that just to do that. But hey, it's worth it. And let's see, if I recall correctly, one of the things I turned on here, yes, mana regen 1, which means that my mana should now regen a little faster, which will make leveling up more a little bit easier. And now, after having done all that, I am going to turn this chicken machine on, and I'm going to spawn a mess of chickens, and I'm going to see how high I can get in level. And I realize I won't be using the healing thing much right now, but I have plans that are going to make that come in very handy, and I'll be getting into that pretty soon. So I'm going to take a little while and kill some more chickens. Okay, I just spent a little bit of time reading in the compendium here, and it turns out that this obelisk can be upgraded using this wizard's chalk, which you make thusly with some white dye clay, flint, paper, and vinium dust. You can put these runes around it, and that is one level of upgrade. These pillars with stone brick and chiseled stone brick is another level of upgrade, which apparently increases its power output. Near as I can tell, this thing for each bucket of liquid Ethereum can generate, without these upgrades, it generates about 5,000 essence, as is showed before. And then I made this thing here, a mana battery. And yeah, here it is. Vinium dust, chimerite, and arcane ash. And the arcane ash is you just take this arcane compound and smelt it in a furnace. You make that with just glowstone, redstone, netherrack, and stone brick, or regular stone. So this mana battery is apparently able to hold a lot of power. And if I take this staff here and whack it, you see it's got 21,538 essence. Now, when I started, this thing had just a little less than 5,000 essence, 4,400 or something like that, 4,500. And I put another bucket in it, and it went up to 5,000. Then I decided, okay, I'm going to put these upgrades on here, the runes and the pillars. I put them on there, and it didn't apparently increase this thing's capacity for how much it would store, but it did increase its capacity for how much can be generated. Now, if I go ahead and get another bucket of liquid Ethereum, And I drop it in here. First, we'll note that contains no essence. And I used the crystal wrench to link this to that mana battery. And so, let's go ahead and we'll drop this in here. Get my bucket back. You can see it's working, it's doing something. We'll look here. The essence is going up and down, up and down. It's generating it, and it's being sucked out right away into this mana battery, which I have no idea what its maximum capacity is, but quite a bit, apparently. Now, if I can, let's see here. All right, 21,538 when we started this. It's up to 26,000. 27,000. So that one bucket of liquid Ethereum is, with this fully upgraded obelisk, generating a considerable amount of power. 28,000. 29,000. That's cool. And this thing apparently takes quite a while to cook a fair amount of time to cook off all of that liquid Ethereum that was in there. 31,000. And now I'm curious to find out just how much you can pack into one of these mana batteries. 33,000. The graphic there, the particles over it, they're starting to flash and fade. I'm beginning to think that means it's running out of power. 35,000. I think it's slowing down. And I'll bet you it goes dark anytime here. 37,000. Then again, maybe... Oh, yeah, it just went dark. 38,431. So it pulled a good 10,000. Let's see. All right, now let's see. This was at 21,538 when I started. And now it's at 38,000. So, yeah, a good 18,000 out of a single bucket. And now, just because I'm curious for science, let's see how much of this power we can generate. Okay, one bucket in, there's another bucket on standby, and it's burning. Charge of, oh, there, 40. Charge level is 0% when I just right click on it. All right, 43,000. We'll know we're getting somewhere when that second bucket activates. Charge level 0%. I didn't think the chicken had anything to do with it, but it's always good to check. 47,000. Hello. I just heard an explosion. What the heck was that all about? There's nobody around here. Oh yeah, there's probably a creeper in there, but he's not going to blow up unless I were to go in there with him, and I'm not planning to do that. Well, meanwhile, this is up to 52,000. It still hasn't tapped that second bucket of Ethereum. So this is interesting. I think I'm going to see how many more buckets of this I can put in there. I've put one bucket in already. And see how much of this I can pack into this one mana battery. And whether or not it will overcharge and explode on me. Actually, it probably won't. Okay, this is starting to do that flashy bit again, so yeah, it just tapped a second bucket. All right, I'll put a third one in there on standby and keep this going. 60,000. That's pretty good. That would generate, that could be an awful lot of power for doing an awful lot of things, I'm sure. All right. I'm going to keep this up for a while and just see how much this thing can hold. All right. There we are. I have now put a total of 12 buckets of liquid Ethereum through that obelisk. And this little baby here, 240,000 essence of neutral variety. And the fact that it can store that much and apparently has not reached its cap of how much it can store, that's great. The question remains, what do you use that much essence for? And is that actually considered a lot or a little or meh or what? I don't know. Anyway, while that was cooking, I cooked up a little something else. Put together a new spell, and I'm calling it Lightning 1. As you recall, I picked up the Lightning Rune thing, or whatever it is. And so I'm set up to go ahead and do this one. So, let's go ahead and do it. Turn the pick it back up item off. As handy as it is, it's not useful in this. Alright, the blank rune. And the Vintium dust. I forgot to pick up the Vintium dust. Which I'm going to have to get into the mining age sometime soon and get a bunch of it. There's, okay, now the arrow. And the snowball. The red rune. The iron sword. The yellow rune. Iron ingot. And the stick. And Vintium dust. And finally the spell parchment. Unnamed spell. What do you mean unnamed? Oh, I didn't do this. Ah, yeah, okay. Let's see. Let's see, is there one of these that looks at least a little bit lightning-ish? Okay, yeah. There we go. Green lightning. And it's lightning 1, okay. Alright, let's go ahead and shift right click, put this in the book. Now we can shift scroll wheel to select it. That's interesting. It doesn't look like lightning. It looks like a brown ball. I wonder. Okay, apparently you can't edit that thing once it's created. Okay, fine. So it doesn't look like lightning. But does it work like lightning? I'm saying probably so. And now I'm going to go looking for something, and I'll be back when I find it. All right, I've been looking all over, and I have not found what I was looking for. And to be perfectly honest, what I was looking for was a creeper. Because what better target for a lightning spell can there possibly be than a creeper? I wanted to see if I could make a charged creeper safely from a distance. But there were no creepers to be found, and I'm not going to do one in there. because, well, it took me enough trouble to get that up and working. I'm not going to blow it up with a charged creeper. Anyway, I have also realized in doing all that it's been a really long day. I've spent, okay, this is only about a half an hour episode, but it has been a good 11 hours in the making. So, what with one problem and another, and so on, I think I'm going to call it a day. And if y'all have any idea, let me know what it is that I could possibly do with 240,000 neutral essence, and so on. I have also figured out something about generating the other two kinds, and I'll get into that next time. In the meantime, let me know what I can do with that 240,000 essence. I'd sure appreciate it. If anybody has a clue, pass it on. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out of here.